Welcome to Mr. Giant Reacts a Tig and Tig and Tig. I'm Mr. Giant, and let's get into this Romanian Discoveries and Adventures. Let's YouTube and simmer.
We live in a world with countless inventions and billions upon billions of discoveries, and Romania often is not recognized among other nations, but they've contributed a lot to things that we use on a regular basis today. Welcome back, guys, to FTD Facts. My name is Leroy Kenton, and here are 10 surprising discoveries and inventions by people of Romania, and let me know which of these 10 do you know about, so make sure you watch until the end. Starting at number 10, this was a surprising one, 3D movie glasses. 3D movies are now seen pretty much in every theater, and they've gotten a lot more popular over the last decade, but the 3D cinema goes back to Theodore Ionescu and his patent for 3D imaging in cinema and television in the year 1936. Now, 3D images were invented earlier by a man named Sir Charles Wheatstone, but Theodore Ionescu was the one that applied it for the movie theater as well as television. In at number 9, we have this invention right here, the fountain pen. Did you know that this was invented by a Romanian?
No.
Yeah, well, now you do. So a man by the name of Petrat Poneru, back in the year 1827, he invented the world's first fountain pen. Now, his invention was patented by the French government because he invented it while he was in Paris for school. He described this pen as one that endlessly is feeding ink to itself. This invention, of course, changed the field of writing forever. Biospeleology comes in at number 8. Born in the year 1868, Emil Rocketry was a Romanian biologist, zoologist, and speleologist. He is considered to be the founder of biospeleology, and pretty much biospeleology, aka cave biology, is a branch of biology focused on the study of organisms that live inside caves. Emil Rocketry was the first Romanian who went on a scientific research expedition in the Antarctic, and he was also a professor, a scholar, as well as a researcher. In at the number 7 spot, we have Hyper CD-ROM. So right now we're so accustomed to using USB sticks, external hard drives, cloud storage, but before all of that there was the CD-ROM. Eugen Pavel is the Romanian scientist who invented the Hyper CD-ROM. Now, this was a 3D optical data storage device with a storage capacity of 1 million gigabytes, equal to 10,000 classic CDs. Now, this changed the way the information was stored and transferred. Now, in November of 1999, the invention was first presented at the 48th World Expedition of Innovation and New Technology over in Belgium. Next up is the Teclu burner. So the Teclu burner is a gas burner for use in labs, and it's a variant of the Bunsen burner. The Teclu burner is named after a Romanian chemist by the name of Nicolae Teclu, and the burner can produce a much hotter flame than a Bunsen burner. The Teclu burner provides better mixing of air and fuel, which is what allows it to produce a higher flame temperature than the Bunsen burner. So depending on what sort of lab testing that you're doing, you'll definitely need that extra heat. Leave it up to the Romanians to bring some extra fire into the world. Halfway in, we have the injection seat. So we've all seen this in movies and TV shows, but it was Anastasi Dragomir who invented the injection seat back in the year 1928, and also the injection cabin in the year 1930. The invention was patented in France and called, and guys, pardon my French, but this was the name, Nouveau Système de Parachute à Montage dans les appareils RNA locomotion. And I'll just put up on the screen so you can read and follow along. So just imagine trying to sing that twice in a sentence. Like, I know my French isn't the best, so you know what? I'm just gonna stick to injection seat, okay?
See, you know, this is the reason why I watch these videos, because I never, the fountain pen, I never thought it was Romanian. I always thought it came from like England or, you know, one of the countries we hear about more often than the rest of the world. So, you know, the fact that it came from there, and the CD-ROM, which was so pivotal in its time, you know, for storage and stuff like that. Didn't know that came from Romania. So everything from 1 to 5 that he just discussed saying come from Romania, I didn't know that. And even though some things are sort of kind of obsolete, like the CD-ROM and pretty much the fountain pen, everybody's using computers and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And but still, you know, I didn't know that. Go Romania, man, go Romania. Let's get back to the video.
Before we have have the liquid-fueled rocket motor. So going to the moon nowadays may not seem like such a big deal anymore, but the first time it happened, it was definitely the biggest deal ever. Hermann Oberth is seen as one of the founding fathers of rocketry and astronautics, along with Russian Konstantin Tsiolkovsky and the American Robert Goddard. Definitely couldn't leave them out. So in the year 1929, Hermann Oberth conducted an experiment on his first liquid-fueled rocket motor, helped by a student by the name of Werner von Braun. This led to the Saturn V rocket being created, which made landing on the moon possible. Now we have the anti-aging.
See, here we go again, okay? And when you think of space exploration, you think of either the Russians with the Sputnik and stuff, or you think of the Americans with the Apollo series and stuff like that. But what we see does not take into consideration the back of it, you know. So if you're not interested in stuff like that fully, you wouldn't know where certain things come from. I know Canada played a pivotal role or important role in the development of space exploration, things that would help to develop space exploration to the way it is today, you know what I mean? And some of the things, they still even use it. Now, according to him, you know, that was important for the moon landing back then, you know, but you have to know that some of the technology is still being used. Or you could figure that, but, you know, you see, and that's why it's so important to pay attention, you know what I mean? So you know where things are come from. Why is that important? Well, it's just important to know that we all contribute to things, you know. Some people don't get me wrong, but generally speaking, in a worldwide sort of situation, we all contribute. And in order for us to survive, we have to keep contributing, and that's everybody. Unfortunately, everything is so capitalistic now that some people will take over the pattern of things, and, you know, it'll say that it comes from a certain place when it didn't, you know, and then you have to dig deep to figure out where things come from. So that's why it's so important to, you know, come watch these with me and take, you know, because that way we could find out where certain things come from. You know what I mean? So we could give those people a hail up for, you know, the things that they have created that benefited us as a race. And maybe, just maybe, if we realize how many things was invented by different people from different places, different ethnicities and different nationalities, maybe we will realize that we actually need each other, you know, because there's a sort of a nationalistic sort of fervor going around, you know what I mean? And people don't get to know that even though we're different, we still need each other. You understand what I'm saying? Thing? Let's get back to the video.
Cream. The Girovital H3 formula, also known as the GH3, was discovered by Dr. Anna Aslan, who spent most of her time studying and researching about the aging process and anti-aging remedies. Dr. Anna Aslan discovered how the aging process could be influenced, and in 1960, this formula here was created, and now her creams were used by people like John F. Kennedy, Charlie Chaplin, and Salvador Dali. And you know, this cream can still be bought to this very day.
What?
Girovital hyaluronic acid ampules, which act like an army of perfectly trained professionals.
Now, the second last discovery is one with a little bit of controversy around it. The pancreatine, later named insulin, was discovered by Romanian psychologist and medicine professor Nicolae Constantin Popescu back in the year 1922. Now, in 1916, he developed a pancreatic extract and tested it on a dog that had diabetes, and it normalized the blood sugar levels. He published his results several times in a French magazine in the year 1921 and patented it. However, he didn't get any recognition for it at the time. That's why there's a lot of people still speculating on whether or not he was the actual person that first invented insulin. Now, the number one thing is the aerodynamic cars. So Aurel Perșu, this man, he lived from 1890 to 1977, and he was a Romanian engineer and the first to put the wheels inside of the body of a car to reach a more more aerodynamic shape for cars. Now, it may not seem like a huge deal now because we're just so used to seeing cars designed this way, but after countless hours of testing and many experiments, he concluded that the most aerodynamic automobile needed to have the shape of a falling water drop. The design was patented in Germany in 1924 and then in US in 1927. The original prototype can still be seen today at the Dimitri Leonida Technical Museum in Bucharest, Romania.
Okay.
So guys, those are
Bucket
just
list.
some of the awesome discoveries and inventions of...
See, it's exactly what I'm saying. The last one about the car. Who would have thought that? You know, you would think that one of the big major car companies today was the one that came up with that idea to begin with. And I never thought about, you know, about it that way because but now in retrospect, cars used to just have the wheels outside, you know what I mean, to begin with. But wow, you know, this was quite interesting, you know. I hope I could find more about other countries so I could look at and see their contributions to the world. It's good to know. It gives you a better perspective of how mankind, in a sort of way, work together to make things better for everybody, you know what I mean? We need to continue doing that, you know, stuff like clean air and stuff like that, you know. But anyway, man, I'll leave a link in the description to this video. And I'll also put up videos on Bulgaria that I've reacted to, so you could go watch it and thing with me, you know what I mean? And I hope you all enjoy it and all of that. But in the meantime, y'all take care of each other, all right? Cool runnings.